Ladies and gentlemen, we are live yet again in the Roofing on the Rise studios. You'll notice that things are a little bit different. It is because I am only sponsored by one sponsor now. If you look down, Chad T. Wilson, thank you so much for your sponsorship. When you are running into an issue where the insurance company denies, and defends their position, Chad T. Wilson will take care of you and your client and make sure that they get what it is deserved. So if it's on your claim, if it's your client's claim, if it's a large loss, if it's a regular just a home that's yours that needs help with an insurance claim where the insurance company has just denied the claim or is just not giving you what you need, reach out. Telephone number is 210-919-8987. Again, 210-919-8987. Today and every day, we have an awesome guest. Today, we have Richie Coletti. Richie, what is up, brother?
What's happening, everybody? Doing good.
Man, I'm excited to have you on. I know we've been trying to do this. We actually did a mastermind before we even did a podcast, right? So,
that was pretty cool. Little spot on the spot, like one day planning, worked out pretty well. It was fun.
I think it was good. You know, I think it's important for people to get some education and some camaraderie, as well as really what's important in my eyes is the connections, right? Yeah. So, everybody came, it was so intimate. Everybody got everybody's telephone number. I'm in contact with just about everybody that was there. Nice. And I think that that's super important. I think that, networking is a big deal.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You network a lot?
I do. I do network a lot. I travel around all over the place, and I do different conferences, bigger networking stuff, and little workshops and stuff like that. But I'm always networking with people, getting contacts, and figuring out who's going to be my next potential partner.
Dude, I see you moving all the time. Didn't you just do another mastermind or about to do another one?
I did one last weekend. It was a little conference, right. Mind Your Business over at Naples, John Huffman's event. The week before that, I was out in Dallas. Week before that, I was in Dallas again. Of course, when I seen you out there, but yeah, I just keep moving.
You like Dallas? You're in Dallas a lot.
I haven't really checked it out too much. I from what I see out there, I do like it. I mean, it's a pretty cool little town, nice people. So yeah, it's not a bad place. I like Texas.
So
if I live in Florida, that's where I'd probably go, is Texas, but Florida's just too cool.
Dude, well, man, y'all guys have like those iguanas running around, right?
Yeah, we got iguanas, these little redheaded lizards, that the African redhead lizard or something. I don't even know, dude. They're out there running around eating other lizards.
I'm out, dog. Like 120%. If a lizard hits me in the head while I'm walking to my car, no, bro, I will freak. Are you serious? My wife, I guarantee you, my wife is watching this right now, and she's like, "Lizard drop from the sky, a baby Godzilla drop from the sky." It's not happening.
Yeah, you get a little of that.
Beautiful. It's a pretty state. I really do like Florida, but I don't know about the iguanas.
It's a little wild. We got snakes, iguanas, all kinds of crazy stuff. My house is like the wilderness. There's all kinds of animals everywhere. Farm animals, wild animals, fish, alligators.
What about bears?
Huh?
Y'all have bears?
I haven't seen it. We have black bears, but I haven't seen any. I have coyotes, bobcats, panthers. Of course, I got all.
Black bears, like even if it's one kind of bear, black bears, you don't mess with black bears, bro.
Yeah, everybody thinks they're all cute and cuddly.
No, black bears, you do not mess with those things. Oh my!
You just want to go grab them and hug them, and they're just going to eat you.
There's books about the Florida man, right? Like, could you level with me exactly what that means? Like, I think I know what it means, but for our viewers, what does it mean?
The Florida man? Well,
Yeah.
that's a guy barefoot in shorts, no shirt, with a beer in his hand will jump on the back of an alligator and just wrestle it and get it out of the way so it doesn't hurt the crowd.
I freaking love it, dog. Oh my gosh.
Hold my beer. I got this gator.
Oh my word. That is absolutely hilarious. Oh my word.
Yeah,
So obviously, you do roofing, right? Leak busters. That's roofing.
that is. Oh, where's the sign? Yep, that's me.
There it is.
Yeah,
Leak
roofing.
busters. Tell me
Yep.
about leak busters. What brought you to make the company? Why'd you jump into roofing?
I was born into roofing. I mean, I like my family were roofers when I had a roofing company, construction company when I was a little kid. On the weekends and holidays, I always worked with them. I looked forward to working with them since I was a little kid.
Yeah.
And then I really didn't like school a whole lot. And there wasn't really a whole lot of stuff out there for people that didn't have an education a while back. So I started,
Right.
working and I started doing roofing and I started liking it. I worked for a bunch of other companies. I always thought like I had the mindset that, if you weren't educated, you weren't a good business owner, you had to be a worker, and so I never thought I could own my own business.
Yeah.
I was always a hustler, I was an entrepreneur. I was always good at sales and, eventually it just kicked. I was working with a guy, I was making really good money and, I still work with him now. He said he was going to retire. I think he just wanted to get rid of me, but he basically said I wanted to like do full roofs and he just wanted to do repairs. And he said, man, hey, you should probably get your license. He said, cause I'm not always going to be around and, you're accustomed to making, at that time he was paying me $500, $600, $700 a day, which was pretty good money.
Right.
Still, good money. And he said, if I'd retire, nobody's going to pay you that kind of money. He said, so I'll help you
Right.
get your license. So I did. I got my license and then I started my own company. And, my real goal at that point, I still partied a whole lot. And I know I
Yeah.
probably said this before to you, but like my whole goal was to have, to make more money so I could have bigger parties. Because I was falling short on the parties. Like sometimes I didn't have enough money to pay the DJs or the lighting guy or the stage or be getting rained out. So, it was like, then I'd be owing dudes money like for, a party that I had that lasted one night, and for, I'm like, shit, I need to make more money somehow. So,
The first.
then that was my first goal. Yeah.
Bro, this
So
is the first. This is the first where someone's told me that they wanted to make more money because they wanted to throw banger parties, bro. Like I absolutely love that. Honey, if you're watching, that's kind of how it's not exactly how we started, but I mean, we threw banger parties at we had a trailer house in the middle of nowhere. And when I started roofing, man, it was, you went from being able to not pay anybody to do anything to throwing the barbecue for the freaking neighborhood, You know how it is, bro. Let's freaking go, dog.
I
Like,
was having seafood boils and flying rappers in and stuff to play in my backyard. It was
dude,
interesting time.
I would have loved to come to one of your parties.
Well,
That's
as
it.
it as luck would have it, I am slowly getting back into that industry. I quit drinking a long time ago, so I don't drink anymore at the parties. But we're using
Me
them as giant networking and recruiting events.
Yes, yes. I think that's super crucial. I went to Austin a couple of days ago. Thursday, I was scrolling through Facebook. It was crazy. I usually like am on top of everything, head to toe. And I hadn't gotten my hair cut and a grip, man. I needed to get my hair cut. It was bad. And I was sitting there looking at my Facebook while I was in the chair, and I see my homeboy was like about to go to Austin. I said, well, hey man, I didn't know that was today. I thought it was like in 2 weeks or something like that. So what happened is we have a local chapter called Houston Millennials. We've got 9,000 members. And so
Wow.
the CEO, the founder of it, is a local politician that ran for city council, that resigned from Congress to come back home and to focus on the home front. And so this man, Ivan, big shout out Ivan Sanchez, goes out and cleans up the community. Like, I don't even agree with his all of his politics. Like, he's a Democrat, I'm a Republican, but I'm not that party guy, right? Like, I'm a relationship driven guy, and so is Ivan. And so when I seen that he was taking Houston millennials to Austin, I knew that he needed support. He needed people from our chapter to go to Austin with him to be able to give them that warm welcome. Like, hey, this is Austin millennials. We're a branch from Houston millennials, and Houston came to be there for you guys and to help you guys grow. And so, Ivan, listen, if you're watching, you said party bus, and instead it was a transit van. So I'm looking at, he pulls up, and I'm like, dog, I thought you said party bus. And it's like 10 passenger freaking transit van, dog. I'm really not comfortable with that type of a space. The last time I've done that was church camp. And so I'm sweating before we even get in the car. I get in the van. I get in the van. I go to the back immediately because I didn't want to call a shotgun. I just wanted to jump in the van. Doesn't go back, stiff seats. I'm just like, look, bro, I'm driving. And instead they're like, listen, we're making you the honorary DJ. You're going to sit up front the entire way, there and back. Let's go. And so I got in, and good Lord, I'll tell you what, we were counting every single mile, bro. We got there. The vibe in Austin's completely different. So I didn't know, but we were going to Houston, or we were going to 6th Street rather in Austin. And so in 6th Street, they shut down the entire street. Oh, wow. So they put a barricade. It's 7:00. They put a barricade, and they tow every car on the street. I mean, there's 4 or 5 tow trucks coming in, and they're just beep, 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 and they're putting 2 cars per tow truck, dog. They are not messing around. They are making their money tonight, and they tow them all out, and then it gets wild, wild. Wow. And we're at the very end. We're at the very end of 6th Street, and it's a venue. It's not a bar. It's a venue. So it's completely private. We had 4 people at the door. I helped, got people in and out. By the middle of the time in which the sun went down, we had almost 200 people in there. This is the first event that we threw in Austin. I want to say the inning count was close to 150 with staff and everyone else. We were close to 200. It was something else. The relationships that are formed and those types of things are important. And that's why, I asked, what kind of networking do you do, And you're like, let's go, bro. Let's go.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I do a lot of networking where there's $5,000. It's $5,000 to even get in a room. That's the kind of people I want to surround myself with, So I do a lot of local stuff too as well. I speak at realtor things and everything, but most of the places it's $2,500 to $5,000 to get in a room.
So tell me about Bill Walsh. How did you get hooked up with Bill Walsh?
Actually, it was Wind the Storm prior year to the one we just went to.
Okay.
Mike Hammer had made the text introduction with me and stuff like that before, and he's reached out and got his famous 26786 text messages and stuff like that. But I never really signed up for anything. And I met him at Wind the Storm, and he just walked up and say, "Hey, what's up, buddy?" We'd known each other for 20 years, and invited me to dinner. Closed me on Rainmaker, and then that was it. I started going to Rainmaker, and then I did all of his, I've done Win, I've done Platinum Speaker Camp. I just love being around Bill. He's great. He's always he's always putting you in the right rooms with the right people all the time. So my network and my net worth has grown tremendously since I've gotten connected with Bill.
Man, I would have never even had this podcast if, I wouldn't have talked to Bill 120%. Super, super crucial. I sat down with Bill, and Bill was like, he had like how he is. He's got everything in his head. And then, he's like, okay, well, write this down. These are the things that you need to be getting into right now. Podcast was one of them. And I was like,
Yep.
podcast, but it was slightly out of reach, yet obtainable, and so I would have never started the podcast if I wouldn't have met with Bill. Big shout out, Bill Walsh. Thank you, brother. It's freaking awesome. I'm actually looking into doing some of those Rainmaker and things like that.
Yeah, you should.
Are you involved with Grant Cardone?
No.
No, you don't do the Cardone?
No, I've read his books and I've heard his stuff, and I went to one of his conferences. I'm not a big the sales tactics that they have to me is a little slimy. Guys were pitching me in the bathroom, you take the VIP lunch, and they're sitting at your table. What's your goals for next year? You want to try our new program? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, I want to eat my food that I paid $5,000 to eat.
Yeah.
So I'm not really a big fan of them,
I could see that. All right. I got one. What do you think about Andy Elliott?
I was hoping you wouldn't ask me that. I'm sure, like, I don't know, man. I guess maybe because I don't have a six pack, like, I get a little offended with him. Like, my goal now is to eat more tacos and make more money than Andy Elliott, because I want to show him that people can do it too. So, I think he's good for, those guys like Wes Watson, Andy Elliott, those kind of guys, they're good for certain people. They need more direct, younger punk bitches, you know what I mean? Like, that need that tough guy mentality. I do better with people like Bill.
Man, I can't do Wes or Andy. Like, Wes completely turned me off, and in the interview with I think it was Dimitri a while back, and I didn't like it. And so, or not Dimitri, who was it? Lee Haight. It was with Lee Haight, not Dimitri.
Yeah.
And I did not like how he even spoke to Lee. I respect Lee. I respect Lee's his family. I respect what Lee's built and what Lee's family's built as well. I actually came from the Haights. Like, that's how I started my journey in the industry. I started with Marty back in RRSA days when Corey Sanchez was VP. Corey Sanchez is now the president and running it well, but Marty was that guy that just, man, he lit up a room. He knew how to teach. He knew how to lead, and I respect that. Not only that, but they knew how to build. They built things multiple times, and to the point in which that it was refined like gold. And that's, I mean, people wonder why Lee is like the way he is. Dude, look at his family. Y'all should see. I wish the industry could see what Lee's family has built. RRSA is something that's absolutely unlike anything else. And because I think I'm still under an NDA, I can't fully talk about everything. But it's from production to sales to every aspect to their business is absolutely ran like a well-oiled machine. It's a clock. It is a timepiece, not just a wristwatch. It is a timepiece. And so, people don't give the Haights, I don't think, the honor and the respect that's deserved there. I get that Lee's had a past, but haven't we all?
Yep. That's why it's hard to throw stones, Well, soon the whole world will see what me and Lee are up to right now.
Oh, that's awesome.
Super massive. With the roll-ups that we're doing with other companies and stuff, and the deals that we got with private equity, and the partnerships that we have with people like Adam Coffey, who wrote the
Okay.
private equity playbook. So we're on a track right now that's massive. And it's going to change a lot of lives, and that's really what the goal of it is to see how many people we can impact. So
I think
people can
pretty
say, the
awesome.
critics can say what they want.
I haven't necessarily fully released it to everyone, but might as well. I'm no longer in distribution.
No,
I'm in business fully for myself. And hashtag Adam Coffee, Robert. Robert, I'm not gonna. All right, you know what? I'm gonna make this fun. How do you pronounce that last name, Richie?
it's coffee. Oh, you're talking about his last name. I would say Zabato. Yeah, that's it with the Z.
Oh, okay. I didn't want to slaughter it, but I was like, you know what? Let's just make this a game.
Zaba. Yeah, that's how I would say it.
Robert, thank you so much for tuning in, brother. Oh my word. Oh man. So yeah, so I've pulled away from distribution, and now I am doing recruiting for contractors. The business name is the Blue Llama. So save the hiring drama for your mama. Call the Blue Llama.
I don't think I would expect anything less from you. Hey, it's catchy. It's catchy. Definitely for a 30-second commercial in a network meeting.
I'm telling you, dog, like anything, and they're not gonna forget it because it's the Blue Llama. So it could be the llama, and they may forget the llama, but like the Pink Panther for Owens Corning, nobody forgets that. It's pink.
That's right.
It's Pink Panther.
All branded.
It's the Blue Llama. I'm super, super excited to bring this to market, and I've been kind of soft launching it here recently. So I figured I'd bring it up, right? Since we were talking about new stuff. I'm so excited to be able to do that.
Nice. That's a good one. I got a little, we can talk about it off air, but I got a little thing that we're doing for recruiting and stuff like that. I don't want the secret to go out on to the worldwide yet, but I think we can team up on it. So
sounds good. I'd love to chat about that. So what's new in life?
Well, new. Well, we got our scaling success retreat coming up at the end of May. We're trying to get everything together for that. It's up in Tennessee, up on 100 acres. My buddy Big Vinny, he's the Nashville country singer. He was on The Biggest Loser. He owns this big campground, and we're teaming up, and we're going to do a little, retreat where we go up there, learn. Bill Walsh is going to come up. Lee's going to come up. A couple other influencers are going to be there, and we're going to have a country concert. Vinny and a couple of his, Nashville buddies are going to play, and we're going to float the river. So I've just really been working on getting that thing up and running, and building the website for that. It's going to be an annual event, and then just hiring more salespeople and building and growing, scaling, and onboarding new companies, and getting NDAs from companies and financials, and figuring out who we're going to partner with next.
So I want to go into a touchy subject that has shaken the market. Oh, surprise, right? Touchy subject.
I love touchy stuff.
Let's talk about, what do you think about the acquisition of SRS by Home Depot? Dun, dun,
you know
dun.
what? I don't really. I don't know. I think it was a smart move on Home Depot's part, but I don't really use SRS. I mean, I just started using them literally like 2 weeks before they got sold. I go to Home Depot every day anyway. So I mean, to me, it doesn't really make it. I primarily deal with Beacon. Only because they're like literally, like, I have my office on US 1. My training center is a block away over here, and Beacon's in between the two of us. My shop is on the next block. So we have like a little triangle, and they're right there. So I got a great relationship with Beacon.
And you do business with Beacon because of ease of access?
I use Beacon because they're easy access, but what most of all, the reason why I use them is because when I was in big trouble, when I first started my company, I went $750,000 in debt, owed them hundreds of thousands of dollars. They worked with me to like make sure that my jobs went and got good, and
Yeah.
you know, they didn't slow me down. You know,
So
they worked with
they
me.
actually partnered with you.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yes,
that's a big difference than just
yeah.
fuck
So
you.
yeah, I think they give me good service. They always got my back. So
Yeah,
I have a little bit of loyalty. I do use other suppliers when we're in different areas and stuff, and it makes sense. But most of my business goes to Beacon. You know,
that's better than fuck you, pay me, right?
yeah.
'Cause that's
So
how the industry works. I mean, people want to get paid, and when a company like Beacon decides to work with you, I think it's super important. I did business with Beacon for a very long time as well. A big shout out to Brian Reed. He was my rep with Beacon, and actually before Beacon, it was Allied. So it was Allied building products, and they had gypsum board and all sorts of stuff. So that's where I bought my stuff, and it didn't matter where I bought it from. I bought it through that sales rep, all over the place, and now we go to church together, which is really cool, right? But
cool.
anyway, so let's talk about the effects that this acquisition has on the marketplace. So we got your opinion, which is awesome, but the effects. What do you think about the effects, though? Right? Like, so, you know, what's your experience with Home Depot as it sits compared
Um.
to RS?
Well, like I said, I don't really have a lot of experience with SRS, so it's kind of hard to say. I mean, I use Home Depot a lot, not for shingles or none of that. So I've never bought shingles from them. I don't know. I just felt like
Okay.
it's a different quality, right? So I never bought them. But all of my other stuff, all the other, there's lots of other reasons why I go to Home Depot. I flip houses. I run, I got rental properties. So I mean, I do full construction out of there. And Home Depot, the one here locally to me, I mean, we work on projects together with like the community and stuff. So I mean, they're great with that goes. I think, I don't know. Some people say it's going to raise the prices. Some people say it's going to, now they're going to have more power to be cheaper. SRS is definitely cheaper with shingles than everybody else. You know what I mean? And I mean, they offer me for $5 or $10 a square cheaper on the West Coast. I don't know if their prices are going to get raised or if they're going to get lowered because now they got bigger buying power. Could
I
go either
think
way, and they kind of put everybody else out of business.
I think probably what I'm more scared of, and I think what probably the majority of people that work insurance is scared of as well, is that there's going to be an MRP that is established with Home Depot, because Home Depot already does flooring and you name it. They've got a division for it, just like Lowe's, owned by the same company. It's a corporation owned by the same company. And so when you think about an MRP, a managed repair program, MRP, when you think about that in a whole, when it comes to a company, a $1 billion company like Home Depot, we're talking world freaking wide here. They're going to have the power to get in bed with people like Liberty Mutual. And why did I say Liberty? Because Liberty's the one that pushed out the managed repair program with Matt's guy to begin with. Why? Because I got the contract. I was one of those contractors that they were trying to get to recruit to the system. And so when you have a system like that, where the contractor goes and adjusts the claim, takes the phone call from the client, goes out to the property, adjusts the claim, and does the work and collects the money,
Hmm.
they then no longer charge the client a deductible because they decided to go with them. What happens? The contractor gets screwed out of their money, and the insurance company made out like a bandit because you made a deal with them to have lower pricing so that you get all the claims. So who's really screwed in the long run? Two people, the policyholder and the contractor. Because the contractor's not getting paid, but the insurance company doesn't care. Why? Because they've got all the money.
Yeah.
They got the money.
Yeah, that's a deep wormhole. Yeah.
So if you think about that, that's not far off of what probably or might happen, because there's already managed repair programs out.
Yeah.
And the big one is Matt's got. And so if the contractor is dealing with a insurance company at a loss, and the preferred contractor comes to do the inspection, who's winning? When that preferred contractor goes up and says, "Mrs. Jones, hi, I'm with the insurance company. Yes, sir. We're going to be looking at this loss today, and if you decide that you would like to go with us, we will have all pictures and everything sent to you, and no deductible collected by you, so we can start immediately. Now, if you deal with contractor X is going to have to wait until the payment is released. We can start now. Who do you want to go with?" How dangerous is that?
Yeah. That could definitely put a damper on the insurance. That's why we're focusing on the retail. Well, that's where I'm going. We're trying to roll up roofing companies right now with partnership with private equity, so we're going to be in the same plane with them. But they don't. We're focusing a lot on building our teams to go with retail. I mean, yeah, that's right, David. Yeah, retail is what we're even insurance claims, we're transitioning them over to retail right away.
Yeah.
And getting people to pay and getting them the money on the back end, or getting them a loan or financing or whatever. And I mean, it's starting to catch on a little bit more and more. But retail is in Florida right now. We have a lot of insurance problems. There's a lot of issues with insurance. Yeah. So, that's why we're transitioning into retail. They're really like slowing the money on the back end. They're trying to like kill as many contractors as they can. So it's like a survival of the fittest. So you got to be crafty and create new ways to be able to get your money. So if you can get these guys 0% financing through a company like GoodLeap or something, I'm not endorsing them. I don't think they're the best or whatever, but they're just one of the options. Somebody that's going to give us 0% financing and then finance the shit and then wait for the money for they pay back the money with the insurance money. But you got to be able to build the jobs faster and get the money up front. Otherwise, you're going to die, because sometimes it's 6 to 9 months to 12 months to get your money on the back end.
I think it's changed in the last 5 years. The insurance restoration industry has changed, and when you're talking Florida is much different than any other market. So it already takes more time than pretty much any other market that's in the continental U.S. And so when you add more barriers into that, you're just asking for more trouble. And then that client ends up having to, refer out the claim to someone like my sponsor, Chad D. Wilson, because they can't get the claim taken care of normally. But I think what's really important here, David, put out, we are insurance restoration forever. And that ended up dying and almost pulling us under. The retail model is steamrolling down the pipeline. And if you're a contractor and you're out there and you're listening and you're not changing and you're not adapting now, you are going to be left in the dust. Whenever the dust actually settles, it's going to be over. There's going to be no one there. You're going to be left. And so it's important that you partner with the right people, like you were saying, the right finance company, the right tax people, the right everything. Like if you've got, and actually I recommend having multiple sources of financing, right? So have multiple different options for your clients. And if the client wants to run them, let them run them all. But you don't have to stay on that insurance restoration model and drown. You don't have to anymore, right? And you never have had to. The contractor, in essence, is really in control. The insurance carrier has a responsibility. This is not like it's not an option. They have the responsibility to take care of that client and bring that client back to pre-loss condition. Make sure that wasn't me.
Yeah, hold on. I gotta put my do not disturb on. Sorry.
Not a biggie. But you know, the contractor has the full right to dictate price, not scope, but price within the given scope. And so, you know, when you have that or that responsibility, the insurance carrier gives you their estimate. That's not written in stone. It's their estimate. It's what could be. Now you control it because you take what could be and puts it into what is. And now what is has to line up with what could be. And that's where we have issues with the insurance carriers, is that gray line in between those two. And so what's the solve all? You gave it retail. You know, scrape out the insurance care. Okay, so this is what you've allotted us. All right, Mr. Homeowner, this is how we do business. You know, you keep the entire insurance check, and we, you know, you just pay $235 a month. How's that sound? I'm shaking my head. Positive head nod. Right? And that's it. So like if you're watching and you're like, man, I don't know how to do it, I just gave you a pitch.
It's that easy. That's it. It's that easy.
And so with the retail model, you know, what other things do you feel like when you're out there that you're up against besides insurance? What's the biggest thing that you're up against out there?
Right now, the biggest thing I'm up against is it hasn't rained here. Like, I mean, it's rained, but not like Florida. We usually get like rain. So it hasn't rained. You know, my wife, she would probably, you know, when she's watching this, she'll probably chime in with, you know, they're doing these cloud seeding things and they're blocking the rain or whatever. But that's a whole nother story. But it literally hasn't rained. So everybody's slow. So you got guys that are just trying to keep busy right now. So like we have to hold back. Like we're sending out price. People are like, man, you're way higher than all these other guys. And I'm like, well, we're holding out because, you know, these other people are just trying to keep their wheels spinning and pay their bills. So they're doing stuff for cheap, way cheaper than we're even, you know, we know our numbers. We know what we have to do. And when these guys are at 535 or 435 and we're at 530, 600 a square for retail, you know, they're just trying to pay their bills. You know what I mean?
Dude, you know, what's crazy to me is the price per square per market, right? Like you can go from like, you know, Texas, like 400 a square. That's like the cheapest market that I know of. And you go from like 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 up into the Northeast. Into New England. And it was like $700-800 a square. When I was roofing up there, I mean, the labor's a little bit more, but like you're not talking like a whole lot more. It's because you've got to do more. You've got to do more stuff. You've got to make it right.
Northeast, you think?
Oh yeah. I mean, I was getting, bro, I got like 1,200 square.
Florida,
huh?
We got a lot.
Oh, I know.
You know, with all of our codes and all the inspections.
Yeah. I'm out. Like every time anyone has ever said, "Do you want to go roof in Florida?" I'm like, no, because I don't want to wait. I want my money. I'm JG Wentworth, baby. I want my money and I want it now.
Nice.
I mean, all respects to JG Wentworth. I'm not trying to, you know, impeach on your copyright or anything like that. You got a pretty awesome jingle, and I want my money like you now. Yeah. So let's talk about cloud seeding. You know, we can listen. Fucking Dubai flooded. We're talking 23 people died in Dubai. Imagine riding a camel. And this is just imagine yourself, you're in a cartoon, okay? You're a cartoon character and you're riding a camel and you're in the middle of the desert in Dubai. And the next thing you notice is you're fucking swimming and you're swimming next to a camel. What not supposed to happen? Like camels intake water. They're not supposed to be able to shed it. Okay. Somebody did the camels die? Dude, if 23 people died, how many camels do you think died?
A lot. Unless they're probably smart enough to go to higher ground, I would assume. A sand dune.
What are they doing? Dubai hasn't had a rain in like fucking centuries.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy how they can play with the weather now.
CERN,
and chemtrails, and there's a lot to be said about it. I try not to go down rabbit holes like this a lot, but there's a lot of shit.
This is what it's for. This is what it's for, dog. Mike Abernathy, thank you so much. Actually, if you guys have not followed Mike yet, you got to follow Mike. Mike's actually my only subscriber right now. It's freaking awesome. Mike has supported the Roof Dawn and subscribed, and I absolutely love it. In his term, I can love it. You've got to ask him. You got to ask him where it comes from, and then you will love it from there on. But yeah, I mean, so the cloud seeding, like I have no clue what that means. Is that HARP? Is that the HHA? ARP, you know what I'm talking about, right?
I do know what you're talking about, and I don't really know enough about it because I really just don't pay attention to it because it's one of those things like, yeah, does it affect me? Yes. Does it affect me right now? No. Like I don't waste my time on shit like that. Like I'm here to complete a mission and build whatever legacy we can, and I want to live it up while I'm here. So I'm not going to worry about how I'm going to die. But yeah, I guess they're controlling the weather and they're pushing stuff up into the sky to make it stop raining or rain, whatever they want to do.
Google says cloud seeding is a weather modification technique that aims to improve a cloud's ability to produce precipitation, such as rain, snow, or hail. It involves
seed that motherfucker up with some hail. I now support cloud seeding. Let's go.
FTJ, fuel the jet. Let's go, dog.
Let's go.
So listen what it does. It involves introducing tiny particles called nuclei into the atmosphere to act as a base for snowflakes to form. These nuclei are typically substances like silver iodide or potassium iodide, dry ice, or table salt, which are dispersed into the air by planes, rockets, cannon, or ground generators. Holy shit, dog.
It's crazy shit.
Quiet. You could hear a fucking pin drop after I said those things. Everybody shut up in the office. It was just like, what is going on? Oh my God. So HARP, HARP has got that big thing. This is much different than HARP. So HARP was like, HARP was pretty close. I'll read what HARP was. HARP. High frequency active auroral research program. Transmits frequencies selectable in the range of 2.7 to 10 megahertz. And they use these to change the weather. Okay. And I'm like, this goes to ancient Egypt type shit, dog, because ancient Egypt I'm just saying, right? Like if you want to follow the rabbit hole, like Egypt did this certain type of stuff as well. And not only that, but they used to communicate in different ways as well. So like we could probably attribute all this back to Egypt, but they're using radio frequencies, right, you can use radio frequencies to change the color of light. So you can most definitely use it, right, to change the weather. But now you're using, okay, what it might say? Look at the deal between Canada and the U.S. Think in the 70s. Yeah. Oh, we missed a few of these things. So we could just, I mean, we could go down that fucking rabbit hole for fucking days. Mike's over here.
We're gonna need another hour.
I know Mike's like, damn dog, like, and he's like texting me the next thing. I know it. So like, CERN's been fucking with the hydrogen collider for fucking years.
We're gonna be on Epstein Island here in a couple of minutes.
I'm telling you, man, because it's going down. They got the split realities and everything.
Adrenochrome. Let's go.
What do you think about it?
Sounds like no. Hey, I mean, think about it. That was Monsters Inc. That was like, that's all about adrenaline. You ever see that? You got kids? You ever watch Monsters Inc. Where they fuel the whole city on Scream?
It's real. It's real.
Yeah.
It's gross. Like it's disgusting. I mean, yeah, you could, and that goes into psychology, in the history of psychology for the past fucking 100 years, dog. I mean, oh shit, that's a whole nother one. And that one's touchy to me because my mom has paranoid schizophrenia. And so I've been in the hospital with her, and I know, like, I had to sign off on electronic shock therapy, right? And that's down that hole. Like, what ECT is now is not what ECT was 100 years ago. When I think ECT, I think a leather like belt in someone's mouth, and a headband to tie them down, and then just like that's what. Am I wrong? Like, isn't that what Hollywood shows it?
They do, and they're supposedly like something like the highest form of witchcraft or something is they have to tell the truth. So that's why all these Hollywood movies, like they have like all this. You can go really far into the rabbit hole with this stuff. There's channels on Rumble that you can get on, and they just talk about all the Hollywood stuff and what they're doing and how they have to put it out there so everybody sees it, because then it just like devalues it when it really happens.
Yeah, crazy. That's desensitizing.
Are these the AI questions that we that you had?
I didn't even. I mean, we're friends, so I could put AI questions out and see what AI says.
No, I'm just messing around.
Skynet. I mean, if you really want to talk about Skynet seriously is like, and for those of you that don't know what we're talking about, I'm sorry. Fucking keep scrolling to the next live stream because you're about to get lost. Fucking Terminator, right? Now, what's crazy is the author of the Terminator is also the author of The Matrix. And the Terminator and The Matrix, they line up John Connor, JC, Jesus Christ, and he saves humanity, right? And so I encourage you to go dig deep. One of my lights just went out, but that's cool because I got my sunglasses on, so it doesn't matter. Can't cancel me, dog. But I freaking encourage you to go and look that up, because the owner or the founder of those two just goes into a deep expose of the connections between Jesus Christ, the coming of Jesus Christ, and the technology in the world, and how the technology is reshaping what we're doing. And basically what Christ is coming back to is to save us from the machines. And if you really think about it, if you really sit there and think that a savior regardless of who it is. Say whoever you want, Gandhi, I don't care. But think about a savior coming to save mankind from their own devices. It's right in your freaking hand, dog. It's not
I always
even,
call
it's
it the
not
mark of
even,
the beast. I always said the iPhones are the mark of the beast. They said it would be a mark on your head or in your hand.
dang, I didn't even think of it like that, dog.
When you got AI going, I love AI and I use AI for a lot of different stuff, but there is a lot to be said about stuff that's getting smarter and smarter, and it's teaching itself its own language that they now AI has its own language that it can communicate with each other that humans don't know about.
Bro, it's
Be a point where they're going to have to turn everything off, you know. So
I don't think they can't. They've already tried. They're dead.
yeah,
It's not happening. So I think that I know that there will be a second coming for a Messiah, and that there will be a rapture. But it's not going to be before things get hard. Now, what's crazy is we're talking about conspiracies, that we were talking about the Matrix, and now we're talking about the second coming of Jesus Christ, right? Or the second coming of a Messiah. Podcast. Hashtag roofing on the rise. What I absolutely love is the freedom that I have now as a business owner. I was a business owner for 11 years. Then I jumped in and I did the whole W-2 corporate thing for a year. And I kind of needed that to get my head like back to where it needed to be. Because I was in kind of a dark spot whenever I came out. Sobriety is crazy. But I came from addiction. And so when you come from addiction and then you go to a place where, I was in a workplace where everybody's recovering and then people relapse, you think it's not going to do something to you, but it really does. Like you really do have to like grab your wits, and you have to remember what your why is, or else you're going to follow right down that same freaking path. And that's where I was at, about a year ago. But, I thank God for the ability to do the things like distribution, and for the opportunity to be able to do that, and to be able to meet the people that I met. How we met while I was doing distribution not too long ago, right? So I think it's super important that relationships are formed, and that's left like that, right? That's not what it is. So when you look at my content, my recent content has nothing to do with my stay in distribution whatsoever, and I want everyone to know that. I'm going to say that again, but I know that you guys are watching because it's the next content that I've released. And so if you're out there and you're watching and you're like, is he going to say anything? Nope, I'm not going to say anything. But what I will say is that has nothing to do with that stay. It has nothing to do. It has everything to do with somebody that called me. And again, I loved being able to have that opportunity, and business ownership is much different than anything else that's out there, and I know you could attest to that. The freedom that you have, the ability to teach your children. I see you take your kids with you. I've seen your wife too. I think that's super important. And the people that are watching, when they see someone, like yourself or me, they know what we stand for. And I just thank God for the platform to be able to do it with,
Yeah.
Man, so what's one or two good takeaways that you would say from our conversation today? We had some.
We need a cloud seeding machine first off, because we need way more hail.
Cloud seeding and
use a little bit of rain. I'm not only am I a roofer, but I'm also a small scale farmer, so I could definitely use a little bit of rain out on my farm. Everything's a little dry and crispy out there. Just left timber
in the snow heading to Florida.
There's always snow in Florida, buddy. We got Miami, maybe. There's there's tons of snow in Miami. They lay it out on tables every night.
Oh my God, bro. I was not ready for that one. I just was not ready for that.
You never know what I'm going to say. That's the thing about me. You don't want to have me on speakerphone.
Oh my gosh. That is
Yeah.
hilarious. So
Yeah.
bring snow with you, please, Steve. And not Florida.
Get out the
snow.
fentanyl.
God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
I
That's
just
terrible.
don't partake in that stuff anymore.
Oh my
Even though I got a picture of Pablo Escobar behind me, I still don't do it.
Listen,
He did send
here's
me
your-
a letter when I quit, though. He did send me a letter when I quit. He said his stocks are down and everything. He was like, you know, you gotta.
Yep, dog. That's why
Man.
we break out cocaine and handcuffs, man. Just can't do it. Just can't do it, dog.
Yeah. No.
Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a live stream. I actually haven't laughed this much. I don't know if I've laughed this much on a live stream ever. Like this has been great. We've had Richie Coletti. Richie, thank you so much for coming live, to talk about all these things, CERN, cloud seeding, SRS. Lord, we talk about all kinds of shit.
I feel like you got to be authentic, right? I mean, this is part of who we are, right? I'm not gonna hide it.
Man, I love I love it. I love being able to have the conversation with you. If you are watching and you are a contractor and you've been having a problem with the insurance carrier dealing with your clients the way that you really want them to, or they're denying things that really need to be taken care of, the issue is the insurance company loves to deny, delay, and defend their position. And so I'm sponsored by Chad T. Wilson Law Firm. You can find their little logo right here, Chad T. Wilson Law Firm. And what they're here to do is they're here to make sure that your client is taken care of. They do appraisal, they do out of court settlements as well as in court. And if you look at who battles the insurance carriers and you look who actually gets up and debates with Badger, one of the main people that debates with Badger is Chad T. Wilson. Big shout out to Chad T for sponsoring the podcast and for being real and authentic with their clients. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a live stream here in Roofing on the Rise. We'll see you on the next one.